to the Carabao Cup draw. Tottenham against Charlton. A nice home draw. I can't remember the last. I think when was the last time we played at home in the Carabao Cup? It can't have been Chelsea.
We did play Doncaster last year.
Oh, so that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, last year.
Where Luca Williams-Barnett made his debut.
That's right.
So I
Paolini overhead kick.
Yeah, look, it was actually a tough day that in the office, but we got there in the end. But yeah, you can't really ask for much more, can you? From a cup draw, home against Charlton, outside the top division. Hopefully, we'll get to see Luca Williams-Barnett again.
Yeah, I hope so. Obviously, a chance to rotate. It's a chance to get to the next round with minimum fuss. Obviously, Championship side still got to be wary of them, and it's going to be a big day for Charlton. They finished 19th last season in the Championship. So the season before that, they were in League One. Then they've been in League One for quite a few seasons, but had a bit of a rise over the last couple years. So fair play to them. But I think, from our point of view, I think a home tie against a lower league side, I think it's pretty much what the doctor ordered. I think it's a good draw for us.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I was there the last time we played Charlton. Was it when we relegated them?
Must have been. I can't remember.
Dimitar Berbatov scored that fantastic goal.
Unless we've played them in the cup since.
I don't think we have we?
Off the top of my head, I don't think so. I've got a weird feeling we might have played them at home in an FA Cup game one year, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I think, did Andros Townsend score? Was that Charlton? I've got a memory. I don't know if it was Charlton, but definitely in the Premier League. It was definitely back in 2007, last time we played them. And they used to be mainstays in the Premier League. They're a lesson, aren't they, Charlton, of what can happen to a club once they exit the Premier League, and there's no guarantees of a route up. Because they were in the Premier League for a good 10 years.
I think the real lesson is Leicester right now.
And Leicester as well.
One. But you remember the old Johnny Jacksons, Clive Mendonca's, these kind of players. So look, I'm looking forward to the tie. Danny Murphy. I'm looking forward to it. Let's go to the third round and then, try and avoid the big boys in the third round. But
I'm just happy we've got a home tie. So real good opportunity to get a win under our belts and hopefully start the season strong.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's get into some more Spurs news. Since we've last been on, there's been a few things that has been breaking. And the first one, actually, is James Maddison took to social media today. If you just go onto our X, you'll see the post. So he posted a picture of him and his son. And he wrote, "Feeling good after another good session today with the team. Working so hard to be healthy and have a great year. Definitely," it's on our tweets, our latest tweet. "Definitely haven't had a recurrence of any injury I've had before. Your ITK isn't ITK. Ooh. Come on, you Spurs." A shot at Paul O'Keefe over there.
Yeah, well, he's the only one who was reporting it. He reported that Maddison picked up a hip injury, which is a reoccurrence of an old injury. And obviously that sent all the Spurs fans into meltdown about Maddison, how we can't rely on him. And look, me included, I was saying, it's another injury. He's not played in pre-season. And look, a lot of it still stands. I think you've got to be worried about how fit he is going to be this season, James Maddison, and how much we can rely on him. But Maddison with a little bit of firing back. Obviously, Paul O'Keefe was saying he's not sure if he's even going to make the first game against Brentford because of this injury, and he's going to be in a bit of a race against time. But Maddison, there you go, saying himself he's been training with the team and he's not got a reoccurrence of the injury. Although he doesn't say that he hasn't picked up a new injury. So I guess, I know you can read into it what you like, but he says he's training with the team. So
that's fantastic.
Doesn't tell me he's injured.
No, that's very positive that he's training with the team, because that's the thing that we mentioned on the stream earlier, that we haven't even seen him training. Massive concern. Season starts in 2 weeks. We need all the attacking firepower that we can get. So it's very positive to hear that he's training with the team now.
Yeah, Maddison. If we can get Maddison fit and we can get him close to his best, then all of a sudden that completely reshapes a lot of our thoughts and all my thoughts on the attack. It makes us so much more dangerous. But the reality is, I think it's going to take a while for him to be at his peak, isn't it? I think it's going to take a few months. He's not going to be fit and firing from day one. Let's hope he's available, because I think the reality is, even a Maddison who's half fit is probably better on the ball than a lot of our
We saw that at
players.
the end of the season, didn't we?
So he, even at a half in Maddison, probably can make an impact for us. So he can be that good on his day. So it's so imperative that we get him on the pitch as much as possible. But the reality is, as we say, he had the ACL last season. He hasn't played much since. It's very common for players coming back from an ACL to pick up other niggling injuries and not be at their peak for a while. So I'm not expecting Maddison to be firing on all cylinders anytime soon, but when he's back and he's ready to start, we're going to be a better team for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's also worth noting as well, Wilson Odebear put a post on social media as well, just a picture of him putting his boots on, which obviously suggests that he's back on the grass. So that's also a positive look. He's still a long way away, but I guess it's positive that he's on the grass.
Yeah, it's positive. He's got his football boots back on. He's ready to run again, and I hope anyway. So let's see, because he got injured in February, so you're not really expecting him back until November, December time at the earliest, really. But you never know. Some players can surprise you in how quickly they can come back from these things.
There has been an official deal announced by the club as well. Manor Solomon has completed his move to West Ham, £5 million plus an additional £2 million in add-ons. That's been announced by Tottenham and West Ham. Look, I think we spoke about it a lot in the previous stream, but with us so light on wingers, I think at this moment in time it's a mistake. Look, whether, hopefully we'll have 2 or 3 new attackers by the end of the transfer window, or maybe hopefully 1 or 2 by the Brentford game, and it won't matter too much. But as of now, looking at the current state of our squad, it looks like a mistake.
Well, the forward line is so kind of thin, considering what we're probably going to be looking at to start the Brentford game. You would think Manor would probably start that game, considering our options. So from that point of view, looking at letting him go this early, I can understand the frustration. At the end of the day, he wants to leave. We've always wanted to sell. I know he's done all right in pre-season, but he was always going to leave this window. Let's just hope we can get some bodies over the line before Brentford, because otherwise, it's going to look a bit silly to let an attacker go who very well could have started that Brentford game and could provide an option for us and could have helped us maybe get a result in that game. So let's see how it pans out. But yeah, it's interesting. West Ham have been toing and froing on this deal, haven't they? Friday they said the deal was off, and then a day later they changed their mind, and now obviously the deal's done. And it's not a great fee, to be honest. 5 million is what it is. Tottenham were looking at reportedly for between 10 and 15 million, and West Ham I think I've got a good deal here. 5 million.
They do have a good deal, but we were discussing this a few weeks ago, weren't we? And I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's as low as 5 million, and that's exactly what it is. 5 million with 2 in add-ons. So look, I wish Manor all the best. I hope he goes and smashes it at West Ham, and let's see what happens. But I'm not going to say fire them to the Premier League, but I would like to see West Ham back in the Premier League. I'd like to beat them all over again next season. So look, the leagues aren't the same without these rivalries.
It's true. We're better off for it. I mean, it's nice. It's funny when they do get relegated, but then once they're out the division, it's like, wouldn't mind a bit of that rivalry back again.
Exactly. All right, next up, let's talk about Cuti Romero. Fabrizio Romano has said that Romero and Atletico Madrid deal is close, as a new bid will be sent to Tottenham. Romero gave his green light to Atletico Madrid. Talks enter the final stages. Spurs never considered to sell the player to Arsenal, as Barcelona remain focused on the Rodri deal. No bid for Cuti so far. Luca Bendoni from the Damasio team says that Atletico Madrid are closing in on agreeing a fee with Tottenham for Cuti Romero. There is no green light, but both parties are in talks and making progress on the deal. So Romero's found out that Spurs are never going to sell to Arsenal, and he's accepted his move to Atletico.
I think he was always going to go to La Liga, whatever happens. He was never going to Arsenal. That was never going to happen. It was just frustrating and disappointing to hear the rumours that he was potentially open to it, or even some pushing for it. Spurs were never going to allow it to happen. So apparently, according to Lyle Thomas, there's a £5 million difference at the moment between Tottenham and Atletico when it comes to the fixed fee. Apparently, bonuses, he claims, are still to be agreed. But when you read that from Romano and Bandoni, it doesn't sound like it's sounds like it's more advanced than that. So I don't know if Lyle Thomas is behind or not.
Sky Sports usually behind the curve.
No, I know these days. They used to be the pinnacle of getting things first when it comes to transfers, and now they're always last. But anyway, this isn't about them. But yeah, Romero's, I wish him best. He's going to go to Atletico. I think it's a good move for him. I think Atletico are getting a good defender. I think he's perfect for Simeone. I think he's going to fit in there like a glove.
I guess the biggest question, what everyone's thinking, are you going to keep that sticker on your laptop?
I need to replace him. Yeah, he has to be replaced. I need to get a new sticker. Need to buy one.
Absolutely.
It's time to let it go.
Yeah. So that's Romero. Looks like he is closing in on a move to Atletico Madrid. The next one is on Djed Spence, as Fabrizio Romano also talking on Djed, saying that Inter are still very much interested in Djed Spence. He says that it depends on deal conditions, as currently seen as too expensive, but Inter remain attentive to the deal if Spurs open the doors in the coming weeks.
Sounds like they're not going to get him, yeah.
I can't see this one happening at all.
I mean, considering the fee they were prepared to pay for Kuti, I'm assuming they want to pay less for Djed, because Kuti's probably going to be a more important player for them than Djed would have been. So if they're only prepared to pay, 40 million euros for Kuti, I'm assuming that it's going to be closer to 30 million euros for Djed, and I don't think that's something Tottenham will entertain at this stage.
Yeah, I think there'll probably be other clubs that come in for Djed, but in terms of a move to Italy, I think Djed would smash it out in Italy. I really do, particularly for a team like Atletico, that Inter Milan. But I do genuinely believe that Liverpool are going to come in for him, because he's a player that would just be really good for them. He's their first choice right back if they sign him.
Yeah, I can definitely see them. I can see a number of Premier League clubs.
United as well.
Him. Yeah, I can see United. So I don't think we've heard the last of Djed Spence and a departure to a different team. I'll be surprised if he ends the window a Tottenham player. But I think we'll get a good fee for him, and we'll have to move on and reinvest it. And I wonder what we do if we sign someone, or do we go in-house? But that remains to be seen in terms of replacing Djed. But yeah, I don't see him ending up into Milan. I think we're gonna hold out for a higher fee.
Yeah, I think S said what I did suggest today, that depending on sales, we will look to replace a fullback. He didn't mention Spence, but I assume that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, it's most likely Spence, isn't it?
And last but not least, there's been an update regarding Destiny Udogie, which is interesting. Alfredo Padula saying there were reports last night about Udogie that have now been backed up, with Roma showing strong interest, but Roma are only interested in a loan with an option to buy, and Tottenham are currently not willing to agree to those terms. So are they willing to agree to the terms of a sale?
I mean, I think we should be open to it, because his injury record is horrendous. I love Udogie, and I've always been a big defender of him. I think when he's...
Who haven't you been a defender?
Yeah, true. I like to defend my players. Sue me. I'm a Tottenham fan. But I really like Destiny Udogie. And I think when he's at his best, I think there were times last season, especially early on, where he was playing really well. Obviously, under Ange, he was, especially early on, he was really, really good. But we all know the problems with him. He just can't stay fit. He can't seem to stay fit for 5 weeks, for 2 games in a row. He seems you get worried whenever he goes into a full sprint, because you don't know if he'll be able to get back up. It's so from that point of view, I think if a good offer comes in, you do have to be open to it. But I do think it has to be a good offer, because if you can keep him fit, then you've got a really good left back. He is quite young still, so obviously is there a chance he could get over these injury issues and work out his body and keep himself fit. And obviously this season, one thing about Udogie is, I think ever since he's come to Tottenham, he's been very heavily relied upon, and we haven't really been able to give him a rest whenever he's fit, because he's our main left back, and whenever he's fit he plays, and it shouldn't be a problem. I'm just saying right now we have Robertson, so Udogie should be able to share the minutes with him without overexerting himself. So hopefully that should help him stay fit. And if you can keep him fit, he's worth a great deal to us, and he can be a top left back. So I think you should be open to a transfer if you get a good offer, over 40 million maybe. I think you maybe consider it. But loan with an option, absolutely no chance.
The thing is, right, if you're not planning to sell, or you haven't been planning to sell all window, then at this late stage of the window, with all the other business that we need to do, it's going to be hard to replace him with the required quality. So I don't know, like if he was to, I don't think we can sell Spence and Udogie in the same window. It's one or the other.
Correct.
So if we're going to sell Udogie, we have to keep Spence, and we have to reject all moves for him. Who would you prefer to go, Udogie or Spence?
Who would I prefer to go? It's a real tough one. Probably lean toward.
I think I would prefer to keep Spence.
Yeah, it's a
Versatility
50-50.
as well. You got to think of that.
Yeah. I would probably just lean towards keeping Spence, only because of the injury record. But I would sign a left back if we sold Udogie. I wouldn't move Spence over to the left and sign a right back. I would still sign a left back.
Yeah.
Because I want to try and keep Spence on the right.
I think whoever you sell, if you sell Spence or if you sell Udogie, Nico Williams is the standout option because he can, again, play right and left. So if you have two players like that, then that's so valuable, isn't it? If you sell Udogie and you have Nico and Spence.
Yeah, I think Spence and Udogie are very similar in the sense of what they're good at and what they're not good at. I think Udogie's movement and his threat is a bit better in the final third than Djed, but they both really lack the final product. They're both super powerful with their running and getting to the byline. They're both really good at defending, although I'd say Spence is better at defending than Udogie. In general play, who do I think maybe Spence is a bit ahead of Udogie in that as well. I think he maybe keeps the ball a bit better than Destiny. So I think it's very 50-50. But yeah, maybe I think considering has Spence ever picked up an injury? Like literally, he's always seems to be able to stay fit. So I think it's just more durable.
Only our right backs and no one else.
Yeah, he's very durable. So I think Udogie, you just can't overlook those injury issues right now.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, that is your Tottenham update. Let us know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories that we have brought you today. And it is time